Okay, we're on to our second part of breakfast. We've had our microgreens and glass of lemon water. It's been about 20-30 minutes, so I'm ready to start preparing the other part of my breakfast. And we have another mini drone, a little bigger one. This is the Eachine trash can. It's running the Cadix Turbo EO2 camera, which is very nice. Real nice picture. Of course, you're adding some weight, and it comes with different props. These are some Gen fans I'm trying out. It does come with a little light on the back of it with a little tiny trash can. You get a look at that. And you can run this on a 1S or a 2S combination. You get a little plug. Get a nice carrying case, battery, charger. There is different setups, so you can get it in FR Sky, Spectrum, or with no radio, which is what I did, no receiver. And I have a little MX Plus in there, which you got to see the long antennas. It is not near as agile as the US-65 in the last video. You can fly it in the house. 1S would be suggested. You know, matters how big your house is. If you have a nice big garage, might enjoy it better that way, but it does rip pretty good outside, but you have to have pretty low wind. The camera angle on it's awesome. You can really adjust wherever you like it. I mean, you can't beat that on the camera is just phenomenal. But the weight, now you're running an F4, so a little bit different than the F3. You did gain some weight. I think a gram is what they say. But you have a lot more features. You can, flip the model over. It's running the 803 motors, 1500 kV, and you have your plugs for easy replacement. My all over opinion with it, it's a nice little drone. It's heavy. It's kind of like flying a tank. But as a cruiser, it don't bother me much. Now if you're gonna want to race and rip, this probably isn't the unit for you. It's just not as agile for hitting the gates. But for something with a nice camera, if you have some nice views outdoor or a nice park or something, it's lightweight. So you can't really fly in a lot of wind. The VTX is, better than some of their older ones. Well, it's definitely better because you can pump it at 200, if I remember correctly. But, and as far as the antennas, yeah, it's nice to have the circular polarized, but I don't know. I have some long-range whips I'll throw on my goggles sometimes, and if you're out in the wide open, they're pretty nice. But yeah, you start getting in around anything metal really wants to mess with stuff. So then the polarized is nice. But this does have the snap-on antenna, so you can change it to polarized. And I do have some that I've tried on some other ones. It just added a lot of extra weight. So I don't know. I have some other ones coming in. They're supposed to be lighter weight. We might try those and see how it goes. But as summer comes, I know we're breaking into winter here, but as summer comes, I'll really be, running this thing through its paces and out in the shop and see what all it's going to take. The frame feels amazing. It's nice and, givable and but still strong, pretty rigid. Not a bad little drone to add to your collection. Anyway, let's enough about the drone. Let's get on to making breakfast here, eh? All right. So everything in front of you is organic, which is, you're just adding more chemicals to your body if you keep eating stuff. As the Cancer Treatment Center in Mexico pointed out to me, as I said to him, I eat my fruits and vegetables. And they said, yeah, but is it organic? Are you growing it yourself? And I was like, well, no. And they say, well, it's got some kind of sprays on it, and pesticides. And the sad thing is the more of these sprays they use, the more the weeds and the bugs become resilient to them, except for the ones that they're totally wiping out, like bees. And then their answer is more spray, stronger spray. Well, let's mix some together. It's just ridiculous, and it's sad what we're eating. Anyway, we have our sun-kissed organic orange, which that's one of my dreams, is to have a geothermal underground greenhouse. If you have not seen Oranges in the Snow, go look that up. He's been growing oranges in Alliance, Nebraska in the snow for 20 years. It's amazing. But I need lots of money for that, so it's not happening right now, but maybe someday. That would be just amazing to grow oranges right here and feed people stuff that hadn't sat on a truck and lost all its nutrition. And it would just be great to feed people good food. So somebody's got some money burning in their pocket, get a hold of me. Alright, first thing I start out with is some organic oats. And I don't do a whole lot of measuring. I'll try and do some, but I just know about what I like to eat. About like that. And then some chia seed. Do about 2 of them, tablespoons. And this says palm sugar, but this is flaxseed. Now, as I was weaning off sugar, I used the coconut sugar. From what I could tell, that's, it's better than regular sugar, and it kind of helped me. But now that I've been on the diet for a year now, I try and stay away from the coconut sugar, and just enjoy the natural tastes as your taste buds clear out from all the lovely toxic garbage. They will change, and you'll be able to taste the flaxseed and the oats, and that they have amazing flavor. Okay, and this is not Dr. Fruman's recipe, but it's basically his. I'm just changing it up a little bit, and I believe he even encourages that. So this is one of my favorites, and I add a little cinnamon. Like that. And I have found that mixing all the dry stuff up really helps. I just kind of give it a mix. And if you're weaning off sugar, you can add your little coconut sugar in there, I guess, if you have to. And then, almond milk causes inflammation with me, and that's, we're all a little different. It's one thing people expect one doctor to have a diet for everybody, and that's what I liked about Dr. Fruman, is he's got different books for different problems and adjusts the diet for what you're going through. And like if you're trying to heal from cancer, sugars just feeds it, you're just helping it grow. I've got a pretty good chunk on the top of my head, and a year ago it was about the size of a 50-cent piece, and everybody was pushing me to get it chemoed, and from the research I've done, and the cancer doctor in Boston, it sent me a lot of research about letting them cut into it and mess with it, and how it'll just go to the other parts of the body. I chose to take this route. It is about the size of the tip of my pinky now, and my chiropractor said he has never seen it flake apart and just die. Well, he's never seen anybody, follow the Gerson treatment plan or eating clean. You know, will I whip this? You know, only time will tell. But I've watched many people go through chemo to prolong their life just a few years and suffer tremendously. I've suffered long enough with the chemical sprays. You know, I'm going this route. If I don't make it, well, I guess I don't. Anyway, you can use almond milk or soy milk, any non-dairy thing that you like. You know, like I say, almond milk gives me some inflammation. Soy, I'm just not real fond of it. And so I've been using coconut water. And you got to understand, I live out in the middle of nowhere. There's no Whole Foods, no 200 miles away, you know. So this is easy for me to get shipped in. I can get some coconut milk. I get that once in a while, or like a treat, but in general I just like this. Yes, it isn't creamy and sweet, but it's pretty good. And if I do want some creaminess, you know, I have some coconut milk here. We can throw a little spoonful of that in there, and that gives a little milky taste to it. But you know, I'm after getting better here, so I ain't too worried about how fantastic it tastes. You know, that's why we're in the trouble we are now. The food industry has made stuff so sweet. You know, it's addicting. You know, we're one of the few countries that advertise food and pharmaceutical pills, and you know. And I got a little bit much in there, but don't worry, it will soak it up. I usually don't quite that much in there. But you let this sit for a good 15-20 minutes. I'll go down and get on the rowing machine and get the blood moving and all that good stuff. And then for a little treat, every once in a while, I'll throw some shaved coconut on there. Get our orange in there. And then you can always sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top of the orange, and the orange will kind of absorb that cinnamon, and that makes it pretty tasty. Now, if you ever wonder if your kids will teach you something, they always do. Daughter was watching me struggle with an orange one day and showed me the old spoon trick there. Now, one thing you got to realize is you're going to have some seeds, unless you really want to dissect this guy, but I just, you know, cautious with it and lay them off to the side. If you haven't had a ceramic knife, these things are wonderful. I just fear the day I cut myself with it. Because like anything in life, you do it long enough, something's gonna happen. Alright, that's basically it. And then over the next 15-20 minutes, I will stir it maybe 1 or 2 times, just kind of work it all in. The flavors kind of combined. And as this soaks up, it will swell and won't look so watery. And then I might top it off with a little more cinnamon there. And something about that cinnamon and the orange itself, that cinnamon soaks into them orange pieces, and oh my, it's heavenly. Anyway, I think that ought to pretty much do it for now. And like I said, I would juice some carrot juice maybe before this, but like today, I know I got a lot of running around to do. I have some maybe a new dog to pick up, so we'll see how that goes. And so I'm probably going to want my carrot juice later on, so sometimes I'll have it later in the afternoon, like a 3 o'clock carrot juice shot. Does the body good. Alright, see you on the next one. I will be sharing a microgreen salad, I think, the next one. I have to pick up some onions and some more avocado, and it's a few days from Christmas. Have a very Merry Christmas, and if New Year's is coming, try the 10-day challenge out. No dairy, no sugar, no wheat, no oil. It'll change your life. Day 4 and 5 is going to be rough. Make sure they're on the weekend. Detoxing from garbage poison, and your body's going to react to it. But you get past that 10 days, and if you can push to 30, you'll just be amazed how much better you'll feel. Have a very Merry Christmas.